Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Iblis Manifestations podcast. This channel features lengthy off-limits conversations with various different artists and entrepreneurs, predominantly from the underground metal scene. We take deep dives into the topics of life, music, spirituality, and take insight from a variety of thought-provoking perspectives from personalities who you don't often hear from in a mainstream setting. I am your host, Cheyenne, and I was originally born and raised in Iran and currently reside in the UK. I am the frontman and founding member of the black death metal band TRIVAX, who have been active since 2009. The band originally started in the Islamic Republic of Iran, where such type of music is banned as well as a punishable offense. You can check the band's pages for any updates on tour dates as well as new music. I am also a personal trainer and an online fitness coach who specializes in people achieving the best versions of themselves physically and mentally. Having been someone who was once extremely out of shape and overweight, I find it to be my duty to be able to pass on the information and knowledge which I've gained to help others achieve the same transformation. The Iblis Manifestations podcast also features a variety of solo episodes where I discuss personal experiences and anecdotes in a very candid fashion, covering everything from mental health, spirituality, philosophy, and even paranormal experiences. This is the Iblis Manifestations podcast. To support it, be sure to subscribe to the channel and visit the link in the descriptions.
It's great talking to you, Cheyenne, really. And best of luck to your endeavors with this podcast. I think it's a great initiative.
You're my favorite person to talk to for interviews and stuff. So I love what you're espousing out here. I love the knowledge and the perspectives that you're curating through this, and I'm just so honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
As I told you, it was one of the most interesting interviews I've ever had, because we talk a lot more things than just music, and I really appreciated that.
I respect you deeply, and it's an honor to be here.
And friends, remember as always, better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. Enjoy the podcast.
Okay, Bjorn. All right. How's it going, man?
Here we are again.
Here we are again. Thank you so much for joining me on Iblis Manifestations. Round 3, but I have only one mission so far. And that is to make at least the intro of this one a little less depressing than the first one we did a couple of years ago. I have no hopes that will be achieved, but we're here. Great fucking show yesterday, man.
Thank you.
It's really cool seeing because obviously I've seen Ritual Death both in rehearsal and live. And I was saying to you yesterday how it's like, because it's quite a stripped back approach to things, and it kind of gives you that room to really want to get lost in the atmosphere and sort of take it in. But what was especially interesting was that yesterday, and we got to bear in mind, we're in Bergen right now, so this is a Norwegian audience predominantly.
Yep.
And they don't move a lot, but it felt like there was a very high, intense energy in the room when you guys were performing, which is pretty fucking good, especially for 3:30 in the afternoon, I would say.
Ritual Death creates a weird energy, both on and off stage, I think.
Yeah.
It has this caveman brutality, but still there's something lingering up in the air, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Well, it has that kind of like, that's I think really exactly the accurate description, because you got caveman riffs, in like drop C and then like bomb blasts,
Yeah.
And but then on top of it, you got this eerie fucking unhinged sort of keyboards as well.
The atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like a back alley beating, and someone is playing you a ballad.
Yeah. So they're like it's a narration of a beaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Where does that come from, do you think?
I know. We just wanted to see how simple we could go and still keep atmosphere.
Yeah.
So me and Neston, we just meet and we start playing together and we take it from there. Everything is done in-house. So to say. Even when we record everything live except the vocals.
That's right, yes. And you go through like 3 cabs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do 3 split.
Yeah. How does that work?
Works great.
Yeah.
I'm not good at technician side, but yeah, I just hook it up, make loud and hard. And then I put a little Marshall amp, the rehearsal amp, to get the screaming sound. Put it somewhere there in the background.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because I saw your setup and it was just like, I mean, it was perfect, you know. I would dare say, like, watching the rehearsal was almost as good as watching the live, if not better, just because obviously this was in the old rehearsal bunker that you guys had, which sadly got shut down.
Yep.
But that was a very special place, by the way, man. You know, I'm glad I got to see it before it closed down.
Many years of everything in that. We pretty much lived there, so...
Yeah. I know you spent a lot of fucking time there as well, and just on your own, right?
I was part of that sofa at some point.
Yeah. No, it definitely had a cool atmosphere, you know, like because when you're in that room and then you've got these like giant amps like just pointing at you, and when you're not trying to be super technical, and then you got this fucking wall of sound, you know, just like open chords, and then the drums, like you said, very caveman, very simplistic, but it works. It works really well.
It also adds to the atmosphere. It's like very locked-in brutality that's just waiting to get released.
Yeah. You were saying to me, because obviously you're performing from under the mask, that...
it's a chaos in there.
Yeah.
I really want to go all in, but I just have to hold back. And that's one of the most exhausting things to do. Just fucking stand there and hold back and can't see shit.
That's interesting. You know, Carl McCoy said that about performing a lot of the songs from Elysium live. Because he was saying that, because obviously this got like a few slower parts, and he said that he felt almost frustrated on stage, just because he had to like hold back the energy, and you know.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to rip it off and go at it, like, but you have to control it.
Which you're very good at that part.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think everyone already knows that one, but...
Yeah, so a challenge also with not seeing much, so it's one of the harder bands to play in, actually.
It must be an interesting perspective. I mean, from the audience perspective, it's one thing, it's fun, but then from your perspective to basically have no lights and find yourself in an isolated state in the midst of noise.
Yeah, completely alone. There's no communication with the band. We just have to trust each other. And I'm standing inside someone's face, so things are happening. I'm not alone.
Sure. Oh wow. Okay, that's fucking cool, man. That's very cool. Yeah. When did you get that idea to even come up with that mask?
You think I remember that? No, I have no idea. It was like Ritual Death creates Ritual Death. Once we started the project, we came up with a name. I was like, nobody has used this name before. That's weird. And then everything just started happening naturally. Like, yeah, Ritual Death creates itself, just coming naturally after the first song. And then this idea came, like, what if you do this with a skull and there's no mic stands? Interesting. And then it worked from there.
Yeah, but there's what's interesting about it is I think that it's the most different thing that you do to all of the other projects that you're a part of. I think it's the one that both musically and maybe even aesthetically like stands out the most.
But it started just because we wanted to do something different and simple and play together. Also, Essen is a great drummer and never plays drums.
Yeah. I mean, he's also a great guitar player. Yeah.
So the only thing we said that if you're gonna play drums, you have to do it with your whole body, like no technique, so it looks like caveman. And then we just went from there, and that's everything that comes naturally. Ritual Death is creating itself. We're just the tools.
Sure. What I think is so cool about it, you know, is like when you're walking around and then you're seeing all like the Ritual Death back patches and things like that here and there, you know, so you have a very good sort of, should we say, sort of roots in the underground now, you know, that have kind of like grown itself. Even though the band, all things considered, is fairly new in the scheme of this genre, I would say. But I think what's really cool about it is that somehow, when so much stuff has already been done, and so many things have already come out and been, you know, like we've already been there, we've already heard that blast beat, you know, we've already seen that sort of image. I think you guys managed to do something very interesting. It's that you came up with something that is perhaps at its core actually quite simple, but yet it's unique. So there's still nothing else really like it, I don't think.
That was never my plan. I just go from atmosphere and feeling. So
you're just being authentic.
That's your words.
Yeah, but you are. You are authentic.
Yeah. Thank you. No, there was never any like big plan. It just let's do this and do that. Let's try this, go there, and it's mostly like me and Eston communicating about music, and then this happens.
Sure. You gonna do another album for it?
Yeah. When I have time in 2030.
2030. Is that the year where you will own nothing and be happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you will have time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, just very busy now, but hopefully start. I've already written 2 songs, but other bands are taking some time, so it will happen when it happens.
Of course. Yeah, I like that you've basically made like a full-time endeavor out of multiple bands, you know,
Yeah.
so it's like none of them, I suppose, spoil, you know, so I guess every time you're jumping in one saddle from the one to the other, it's still sort of fresh, I guess.
Yeah, but the biggest problem is that everyone gets creative at the same time. I wish that 1 year could be this band, 1 year could be, but everyone is like actually happening at the same time.
Right, I gotcha. Well, what else have you got going on now then?
New Behexen, new Iblis, new Darvaza, and
Okay.
new Bjorn Man.
And new Beyond Man, that's exciting. Holy shit, I mean, like, all of those are exciting as fuck.
Yeah, all of those are different, and the new materials in all bands are fucking great. Of course, I will say that. I'm not going to say that shit, but
Yeah.
no, but it's like really top-notch stuff. The new Fetus and Vesa is. If you thought the last album was a ravage, this is fucking.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
The last album, I feel like, didn't get the love that it deserved when it first came out. Like, it did for like a week or two, but because it was right at the time of the lockdowns.
Yeah, it got a roop.
Yeah. But then I think when you did the tour with Oculus a couple of years ago, that then sort of like brought it back up a little bit again.
I guess that's what you have to do nowadays. You have to tour to promote the album if no one else is going around.
I mean, that's kind of always been the case, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's even more now that. But especially around the Corona times, yeah, it really like flattened out, and I don't know if people understood the change that happened either, because it wasn't like a big statement or anything. It just new lineup.
Yeah. Well, the band went through a lot of changes, obviously, didn't it? Yeah. Obviously, I've had Giuseppe on the band on the podcast before a couple of years ago. You know, we talked about that, but I don't think even then we talked so much about like the lineup changes and things like that Fetus went through.
No, of course it's a whole different band, but he's always made the music, right? So, but yeah, changing a vocalist is a big step, but so it was a natural progression for everyone. So.
Well, I think it worked out in the end, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because obviously Ginata then moved on to be more full-time with Darvaza.
Yeah, he got more and more busy with that too, so
Yeah, and then I think Fetus also went in a very good direction, I think, so it probably worked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did you feel, you know, like around, I know we're going back a few years now, and we're sort of
I can't even go back to yesterday, come on.
Well, you know, what I was getting at is that obviously now we're kind of like back in the middle of things being sort of fucking normal, not maybe entirely, you know, but it's kind of like we're busy, you know, like there's festivals every other weekend, you know, like you and I, we bump into each other pretty much like all the fucking time now, you know. Unfortunately for you, yes sir, but you know, there was a little while, like a few years ago, where I think it was a bit of a rough patch, you know, because this, like, I think some of us, we need those live shows to kind of...
Yeah, that's around the time you did the podcast, right?
Yeah. I think it was just after it. Like, we did the podcast just around the time when things were kind of going back, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know how much that thing inside of me needed that outlet until it stopped. And I didn't understand until after it was over that, oh shit, I didn't think I didn't think it would affect me, but it did, because I was like, hey, I'm not getting the outlet anywhere. And also, most of my friends are the crew we meet when we're out traveling, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So I understood afterwards that, oh shit, I need to nourish the demon. Like, you can't just lock it in, because then you will explode.
Yeah.
So you need that outlet somewhere, and you need to stay busy, man.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, you know, because obviously I live in the UK, and me and my girlfriend were talking about this, and I was like, I know we live here, but it's like all of my friends are literally scattered all across the world.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for like these gigs and these festivals, and obviously, luckily for me, the podcast, I would never have the chance to like see actual friends, because it's like, it feels, I like to think I'm good at being a chameleon with society, if I try to be, you know, and it's like a bit of a survival instinct attached to that.
Yeah,
but also at the
smart.
same time, it's not really where I think we feel that much of a belonging anyway.
No. You have to play their game, but then like nourish yourself, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing about going around the festivals and meeting all this. Like, we're building the underground in the underground. We know the good people, and traveling around and just sitting at home. That doesn't work. Like, life is too short to watch TV.
Yeah. Now you're preaching to the choir. Yeah.
No, I mean, where did we go with this? Yeah, lockdown. You sitting at home not doing anything. I can't just sit still and not do shit, or do shit. It's burning the world, or riding a bike, or just cooking food, or making music, or drink beer with my friends. I just don't want to sit still. Like,
Good stuff. Yeah.
Go faster, go harder.
That's what she said.
No, she didn't.
It was already too fast and too hard. Yes. Yeah. No, jokes aside, like one of the things that I always try and remind myself is, you know, when we're on the road, especially with TRIVAX and stuff, you know, I always feel like I have like an extra responsibility, because I think of all of my friends who are still back in Iran who haven't even seen as one single live show in their life, you know, and then here I am, like, you know, making friends and actually like attending festivals and shows all the time. But that aside, actually playing them all the time, the fact that I get to do that every time, I think that this could be the last time. So enjoy the fuck out of it.
Yeah, you know? And that's proven it can be the last time with the fucking lockdowns. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about build your own world. But don't piss off the government, because they will fuck you.
Yeah.
No, but build your own world and just manage through and be smart. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely pissed off the government a few times in my life, here and there.
I try not to, because if they find me, then done.
Yeah. I don't know. I imagine the government in Norway is a lot friendlier than the one in Iran.
Stay away, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
No, but they fucking invited Iran and took care of them.
I know, right? What the fuck? I was like, yeah, it was very, very strange. We did a protest outside the embassy.
I saw that.
Actually. Yeah. And we had to get permission from the police to do it and everything like that. You know, that's where Omid, who's behind Qaboos, he went and played the Talkie cover outside the Iranian embassy. You know, Iranian guy playing the cover of a Norwegian band in Norway outside the embassy of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I think that's the coolest thing. Anyone who's not seen it should go check it out. But what was interesting, when we were talking to the police, they were like, we said to them, "Are you happy to take a picture with him?" And then they were like, "No, because then it looks like we're supporting his cause and we have to remain neutral." And I understand that there's like diplomacies and that there's like certain sort of gestures involved in that, but it still made me think, like, it's the Islamic Republic, you know, like why are you so like forgiven for, you know? But that's maybe my own biased perspective as well.
Could be, because you know what neutral means? Neutral.
Yeah, I don't do neutral, I'm afraid. No, but you know, back to my original point. I think there's this perspective. You know, you learn a lot from people, and you realize that even when you're going through the travel and how shit it might be at the time, you know, how tired you might be. At the end of the day, you're still. I know it's a bastardized word, but it's still blessed to have the opportunity just to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Could be worse. You could be home. Have to go to work.
Yeah. And I've been there. Yeah. Yeah. I think most people will go back to that after this.
Yeah, maybe. But also, I have a normal work. I still have to, because music and shoppers doesn't pay shit. So I still have a normal work. I have to get up at 6 and go to a fucking place which I hate for 8 hours, and it feels like 16 hours. But I'll do that just so I can to support, so I can go around and do this.
You know,
So people think that I'm living off music. There's no chance. No.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting? Every time you tell me you have a full-time job, I have such a hard fucking time actually believing that, or just imagining you in a work environment. I would in fact, you know, I would love to see that. You know, it's like having like a CCTV or like a camera or someone following you around.
Watch me do my job, not talk to anyone.
Right.
Then like this, I maybe say 2 words like hello, goodbye.
What is it you do, if you don't mind me asking?
It's like a factory that makes steel tanks for farmers for milk and stuff. So it's like welding and cleaning the welds.
Cool.
So yeah, I just go around and do whatever they tell me to do.
So you're kind of left to your own device, at least. You don't have to.
Because the nice thing is that I can always take my time off. Like I can say that shit, I need to go next week. I have stuff to do, and my boss is like, "All good, Bjorn." She knows that she can put me to do pretty much everything and get done.
Yeah.
So she can count on me when I'm there, but I'm rarely there.
Yeah.
I'm traveling all the time.
For sure. That's really handy, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's. I would quit in a second if I couldn't take time off, because I can't handle being in that environment if I can't have it on my terms. I know that causes problem. I know I'm the problem. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that 100%. But I can't live on their rules.
The 100%.
I have to have my freedom to say that I need to go. If they say you can't, I'm like, now we have a problem.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Now I have a problem because I have to quit.
It's this clash that happens, this extremely natural, I think, for our breed of people who do this and are as passionate about it. And this is, I think I've had that same conversation, you know, where it's like, well, if you don't give it to me, then I'll just quit, you know.
Yeah.
Soli's had the same conversation. When we were touring with the guys in Diocletian, you know, I was saying to them, I was like, I was speaking to our friend Marcus, I was like, oh, so you guys are on the road for, what was it, like 2 months or something? You know, like, they were on for a long time. They did like Asia, then they went on to Europe, and then UK, and then back down. It was like mental, and obviously they come from New Zealand. And he was like, yeah, I just said to my job, you know, I'll quit. If you don't give me the time off, I'm going to go anyway, you know. And that's, it's a difficult thing to practice, but it's almost like it's the only way to do it, you know.
Yeah, but that's how strong this genre are, because you're burning for it. Like, if you burn for it, if you're 100%, there's nothing going to stop you.
Absolutely. And I suppose that's why you take, we both take problem with the plastic knife scenario, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all in, and then figure it out afterwards. But if you want to do something, fucking do it.
Yeah. Like you said, life is short, you know? And it's like, everyone says that, and it's such a cliche thing, but to really realize it at its depths, you know, when you look back and see how quickly 5 years has gone by, how quickly 10 years has gone by.
You can also look ahead. If you like check, you probably die around 75 or 80, let's say that. How many summers do you have left?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, there's this really interesting thing that they put out. You know, I'm gonna invest in one myself actually, but it's basically a life calendar. So it actually shows you how many weeks you've got left till you potentially die.
I don't want that.
I would, because I think it's...
Yeah, because you need to be in control of stuff. I'm chaos. You're fucking control.
Yeah,
how's TRIVAX doing, by the way?
TRIVAX is doing awesome. Thank you. TRIVAX is doing great. No, things are looking up very well, and we just signed a deal, which we'll be announcing probably at some point.
You're not gonna tell me?
Well played, because I have already told you.
I'm trying to be interviewer here.
Yeah, no, I see. That's good. Maybe you should have your own podcast someday. But
The silent one.
the silent one, yeah, it'll be like that Mayhem song we talked about earlier from Grand Declaration. Where it just says something and then it's just 4 minutes of silence afterwards.
I could do that.
Yeah, but going back to it. Yeah, I think it's good, because the thing is as well, you might say, let's say in the hypothetical scenario of the of that life calendar thing, you would have I don't know, let's say you're gonna live till you're 65, till you're 70 or 69, even better, and I think that even then you're not guaranteed that. Okay, you're not guaranteed that. No one is guaranteed that. The world isn't guaranteed that. But it's to still, I think it helps with having a purpose. It helps with knowing that you're spending your time wisely. And I have to say, I hope it's not too close to home, but I'm sure you, of all people, must have a strong perspective of that, considering obviously the tragedy that happened with Steingrim before.
Yeah, just live more, and that don't let anyone tell you what to do, but be responsible and take care of your shit. Don't think you go around and live hard just to be hard, but be smart, don't be stupid. There it comes again.
Yeah.
Just don't let anyone tell you how to live your life. Figure out yourself, but take responsibility, because it's easier to have a normal job. Even it's harder to get up at 6, but it's much easier to just to work for someone than to work for yourself, because it's the triple job to work for yourself.
Yeah,
it's easy to just sign up. Okay, I'll let you take care of everything, and I just come in and go home.
Yeah, I think it's one of those as well. One thing that I think a lot of people kind of go wrong with is they're so fucking hell-bent on not being a part of the system, where they almost glorify being fucking unemployed and things like that, which is just that's just fucking stupid.
You have of course you can step out of the system, but you have to maneuver in it somehow.
Yeah. Well, what I think is you can't really successfully step out of the system if you're doing that to just take drugs and not do anything productive and not contribute to society in any way. It's all good hating the world and the society because you're not compatible with it, but then you still need a community of your own to contribute to.
Yeah.
I think so anyway.
If you get that freedom, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
If you just sit down and do nothing, then it's pointless.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because then it's I have a bit of a maybe slightly extreme point of view when it comes to that, but I also think of resources. You think of how much food a person needs to stay alive, and I know that we think, there's an abundance of it. Well, the system that we've got in place isn't so good. It's taking its toll on everything, and it's also taking a toll on our health, and by that of course I'm referring to factory farming and agriculture and all of that. But just kind of coming back to it, I think that you're gonna have to earn being alive. I never understood the point of everyone deserves to be alive and happy. No, everyone has to earn being alive and happy, and there's many who've come before us who have earned these rights on our behalf, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna be there forever.
No, but nowadays everyone is just a piece of machinery, right?
Yeah,
everyone is replaceable, but we need these wheels to keep turning.
Also true.
So,
also true.
If you want to step out, do it with responsibility.
You know what? I bet it's good for a lot of people to hear that from you. Because I think you very much have this sort of, whether intentional or not, you very much have this kind of vagabond, kind of public sort of
it's
image.
Not intentional. That's even just doing this interview, I don't see the point, because I don't consider myself very interesting.
Yeah.
You want to talk to me, and you're good at it.
Well, we're having an interesting conversation.
Yeah, but I don't go around with a plan. I don't consider myself whatever. But I've just decided I'm gonna go my way, and let's run.
Let's run.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that sounds good, man. So, what are your plans coming up then? What's the
drink beer with Sully?
Drink beer with Soli. Oh yeah, for everyone watching, Soli's just in the background right now, keeping tabs.
It would be weird if it
things.
wasn't.
Yeah. Why would it be weird?
Stop. Ask good questions. Isn't it Black Metal the podcast? Come on.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those things, man. You know, I was speaking to Dustin earlier, the guitarist in Atlas, and we had a really good chat. And you know, we were talking about time and how fast it goes, you know, and how everything that you do matters, everything that you do counts, you know, and that's irregardless of what you believe in, what religion you're into, what religion you're not into, what religion you're against. It's regardless of all of that, you know, everything that happens in this universe, everything that happens in life counts. You know, every word that you say, everything, it has an effect on the world surrounding you.
That's a heavy load to put on people.
Yeah, good. They should learn to be able to.
Every word. Then I should watch my mouth, I guess.
Yeah. So that's why the rest of this podcast is going to be silent. No, but you know, you think about it, man. You know, time only ever goes forward. So check this out. That is the only time in the history of the universe where that actually happens. Exactly at that moment, exactly at that specific moment of time, and now it's gone. And now we're only moving forward.
I'm going to find it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I have a question for you.
Please, ask away.
Why do podcasts? Like,
Why do podcasts?
I understand you as a podcaster, you have to do it because it's kind of a thing. Why should artists do podcasts?
I don't have to do it.
No, you know what I mean. You want to. So, okay, you want to ask people questions.
No,
but is it beneficial for artists to take the time and the stress to sit down and talk? What does it do for the...
Are you stressed right now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. I know.
No, you're asking a valid question.
Honestly, I think it's really uncomfortable to do this.
Okay.
But I have, that's the first time I chose to do it with you because I trust you, and I'm going to check if I can get better at it, if it's something I want to do.
Okay.
But because many years I didn't do interviews at all.
I know you did.
I didn't want to.
And I appreciate you being here.
I didn't see the point.
Yeah.
But now, I'm okay, I'm going to open that door again and see. But I don't see what it does. It does something for other people, but not for me.
Okay, so to me, the way that I look at it, you know, and I hope that you are getting something out of this, but the way that I conduct it is that I am not doing it for the views, I'm not doing it for subscribers, and I'm certainly not doing it because it's a thing. I'm doing it because I'm naturally a curious person, and I like to have conversations, I like to learn more, but also I think that if you really want to dissect my real goal of it, you know, which is perhaps actually a little bit more maybe esoteric to some extent, I think that there's a lot of us who are a lot more like-minded than we think we are, but we never share it because we're always shy. And I don't like being shy. I don't like being afraid. I like living life and, you know, like you said, run. I like going for it.
Okay.
And I understand that there's a value in concealing some information, and that I totally respect. There is also value in that. That's why intelligence agencies are a thing. Whoever controls the information controls the world. I understand the value of that. But I also think that there's a lot of people who listen to this music, who go to these shows, that they're there looking for something. They want to connect to something there. And I think when you understand the perspective of where the artists are coming from, where the host is coming from sometimes, and when you hear these conversations, it provokes thoughts in your head, and it reminds you that, hey, you know, maybe that crazy thought that you had in your head, you're not on your own when you're going through that. And to me, that's probably actually the main reason why I do it. And also, it's an exercise in just becoming a better person. I think the more people that you speak to, especially interesting people, obviously I'm not sure if that includes you, I'm afraid, but but you know, the more that you have conversations with people, you know, you can learn from everyone. You don't have to even agree with them on the points that they make.
Proving my point, you're doing it for yourself. why would the artist do it? Only not speaking about your podcast, but generally, I'm looking at interviews. Like also, when you're going to see this on your new label, when you get 10 interviews and the same questions.
I wouldn't do that, though.
Oh, it's a bigger magazine or something, and it's like that takes time because you don't want to look like an ass when you answer. So you want to sit down and have different answers. You want to be like good at this. Take fucking hours. That's hours you can spend on running.
That's 100%, yeah. And I prefer lifting to running, but running is still very chill. Yeah. But
I stepped on something there.
yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I like being challenged. But what I would say is that people who play this style of music, and pretty much everyone that I've spoken to, pretty much most of the guests that I've spoken to have had a great experience being on here. And part of that reason is because you think of how weird and obscure the style of music that we perform is. And there's a reason why we gravitated towards this anyway. There's a reason.
Yeah, I understand where you come from, but I need to ask the question because there's a lot of it. Your podcast is different, you know that, but like generally, like
that's another thing. Yeah, I don't see myself the same as people.
I agree, but
I'm not a journalist. Let's put it that way.
No, exactly. But I'm just have to throw it out there. Is it worth the time and the energy to sit around and do this? And you have to ask. I'm asking myself, who am I doing it for? Like, maybe it's better if I just shut up. Because my mouth can go fast too. I can talk myself into trouble like this.
Do you want me to give you and this is more of I know that this will be very kind of dry and cutthroat, but I'll explain to you why it's good for the artist to do it.
Okay.
And this is maybe more to do with a personal connection. Someone might listen to Ritual Death and be like, "Oh, cool. There's caveman riffs and there's keyboards." But what more is it to it than that? Is your personality, is who you are. That's why they're there to listen to that. That's why it's good for the artist. One thing that I kept seeing when I was looking through some comments on YouTube, this is years ago, by the way, and I was looking at this and I was like, there's people keep saying, in this particular case, it was actually Corey Taylor, which I'm sure everyone watching this podcast right now is probably not relating to that, but nevertheless, he's someone who's very successful on the industrial side of metal, and has a big personality. And what everyone kept saying in the comments was, "Oh, I would love to have a beer with that guy." And I kept reading that, and I kept thinking, what the fuck does that mean? Like, why would he want to drink beer with you? Or why does everyone keep saying that? Yeah. And I kept thinking on this because it kind of challenged me. I'm like, why the fuck does everyone say that, And then I realized and I understood that it's about a personal connection. So it's not about specifically drinking a beer with someone, but it's about knowing that when you listen to someone's music, you almost connect with them on a personal level. I think when you put your music out there, when people have got your vinyl on a shelf somewhere, that's a piece of you as an artist on their shelf. And that's the reason why when they have it on, yes, they get their own experience, but they're also connecting with someone who's interesting, who's different, who's maybe not what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. So that's exactly where the value of the podcasts are as well. There's a lot of people who might just want to observe and listen to the conversation. They don't have to agree with everything. They don't even have to have some kind of a profound thing out of it. But just having that connection there, I think you'd be surprised how much it means to people.
Okay. I got an answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think of a reply, but off camera.
Yeah. No, and what's the most surprising thing is whenever I'm at a festival like this, like when I look at my numbers online, like I said, I don't do it for numbers, but I have a grasp of like what viewership numbers and things like that look like. And my channel's not big at all. It's a very small, independent, underground channel that costs me money to run, frankly, and a lot of time.
Yeah.
But every time I'm at an event like this, there's people coming up saying, "Oh man, I love the podcast. I really like that episode you did with so and so."
It's different. It's good. It's like a not normal podcast. I can drop names here, but I won't. But it's because you go in the depth and you actually get people to talk. You're good at it.
Thank you.
That's why I'm challenging you, trying to be quiet.
Yeah, no. I think I'm really glad that you asked that question, because you're not the only one who has that question. I'm sure a lot of people, because black metal is so like, you know, everyone cross-armed and, you know, like people who know you, who purposely don't say hello because they're like, oh, is he gonna, you know, like, where are we at? People are, and you know what? That's a sign of, to me, that's a sign of insecurity and fear, and that's understandable, knowing what personalities it takes to like and enjoy this genre.
Yeah.
You know, but I like to defy against that. I like to say, you know what, that's okay, but let's really talk. Let's see what this is all about, you know? So at the end of the day, whether we like to admit it or not, we are all human. Sometimes we might channel things that aren't human.
Yeah, I think so. Okay,
you know?
That's fair enough, yes.
Yeah. So that's why I do this, and that's why I find it to be extremely rewarding. I don't know if I'll be doing it forever, but I know for a fact that the people who tune in, they appreciate what's on here, and I actually find that really humbling too, you know, because I only did it initially just to share ghost stories about my apartment in Bergen, you know?
Yeah, no, okay, understandable. Yeah, but you have a different approach, but I'm just thinking generally about interviews. And
I don't think you should do all the interviews.
No.
No, I've learned that myself.
Yeah,
by the way,
because it's time and stress, and yeah, this podcast thing, I don't know, man. But okay, let's try.
I think this should be your last one.
I bet you, until I have a comeback.
Yeah. It'd be like the Kiss comeback, you know, volume
Every
10.
year.
Yeah, I think, you know, so from like an industrial perspective, because I know you were asking me about this yesterday as well. I know you're genuinely curious. I know you're not just trying to fuck with me here. Yeah. But, you know, one thing that I will say is when it comes to PR, you want to go for quality over quantity, you know? And there's a reason why I won't have anyone on this podcast either. But also, in terms of like what I learned from the last TRIVAX album that we did, I don't want to do all the interviews. There's so much.
It's pointless.
There's some really good ones where people genuinely actually like take the time to appreciate and enjoy what it is that, you know, we've had to do. They really look into the background, coming from Iran, and then all the different changes and things that we've been through, and the threats that we get from the Islamic people. And that makes for interesting interviews, but there's also a lot of fucking bullshit ones that
it just
feels pointless. I agree. Yeah. So you want to do the right ones.
Yeah, but it's hard to weed out sometimes. But
yeah.
Some you just see that some label just paid to get you in a magazine, and you just get shit questions because the guy is just doing 10 of those, and you just get a little note in a magazine. Takes fucking hours for me to answer, and nobody cares.
You know what's funny is I would have never ever in a million years done this. You know, I would have never thought of myself as being someone who is gonna like record content like this and put it out there. But you know, I had a few aha moments where it was like, you know, I felt like I was limiting myself, you know, I felt like I had a lot to exercise. And you know what I've noticed since doing the podcast from like a purely human level, you know, and this is something that maybe also would be useful as an artist as well. Because as an artist, you're good at creating music and putting art out there, but how good are you actually as communicating yourself as a human being and as an individual? And then the more you do this, because everything in life is a skill at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. Okay.
Like drinking?
Drinking is definitely a skill, sure. My skills have certainly dropped in the last couple of years since I haven't been drinking at all, and I think that but it's the skill of having a conversation. It's the skill of being in a relationship. It's the skill of running a business. It's all these different things. And you notice that the more that you do this, the more you become better at the skill of conversing with people.
Yeah, I mean, it suits you. It suits your personality. You're restless and you just want to do stuff. So I totally understand where you're coming from. My skill is to pull back and don't talk so much.
Sure. Yeah. But I think this is still interesting. And sometimes...
Yeah, I find it interesting too, because I'm challenging myself like 100% doing this. That's why I'm doing it, because I want to see if can I get better at it. But I don't feel I'm getting better at it.
You're better now than you were 20 minutes ago.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. And I think that sometimes people don't even listen for the words that are coming out. they just want to see their favorite artist. They just want to see, oh, what's this guy like? You know, what's he like as a person? What are the mannerisms like? You know, and you got plenty of that, by the way.
I'm not trying to be anything else than me.
I know you don't. That's exactly my point. That's exactly what makes it what it is. Yeah. So who are you looking forward to seeing most at the Beyond the Gates?
Owl. What the fuck was the name again? Wolf's Grave? No.
Owlwood's Grave?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Let me check that.
I'll have to read it off my delegate card. So yeah, I'm special, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know you're special.
Owlwood's Graves.
Yeah, Owlwood's Graves. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Yeah, really good. Magua guys.
Yeah.
They really like that album. So Vatane was great. Horden Rife was great.
Yeah.
Listen to Doombringer from the backstage also sounded great.
Doombringer.
Yeah.
They
Polish guys.
Huh?
Polish guys that played before.
Polish guys. Okay.
And then tonight is Javel. Watch them.
I thought it was pronounced Djavel. I'm saying that as a joke. Sorry. It's
no.
Yeah. So you got Javel, Enslaved Satyricon, and Aura Noir.
Noir, yeah.
Yeah. How do you say Aura Noir as a?
Aura Noir.
Aura Noir. How do you say him as a Scandinavian?
Aura Noir.
Aura Noir. Ah, there you go. Yeah. Every time I'm in Norway, by the time I get back to the UK, you know, and I'm like, I am talking like everything is a question, and the weather is a bit shit, and yeah, it's quite fun.
That's how you sound always.
When are we gonna tour together, man?
I don't
It's
know.
been 2 years.
I stay away from business side. Next Beyond Man. Let's do one more round, but bigger.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we might have something out next year, and I heard that so might you.
Yeah, I mean the material is pretty much ready. Just we need to have the time to start recording it. Just a bit more rehearsing to fine tune everything. But I think all the songs are done. So we just rehearse a little bit, and then we just start recording what we need to. We always record, like go in the studio, record together, do it in one weekend. But now, as mostly me, I'm so busy, I think we need to start go in, do the drums and guitar, and then I put on the vocals later when there's more time and work through it.
Killer.
Yeah.
And a slightly more important question than that. When are we going to train together this weekend?
After this, I promise.
After this?
You can lift Sully.
I thought it was usually him who was lifting you up.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you find the doctor and you'll find the patient. Bjorn, this is awesome having you on, man. Thank you so much. All right, appreciate it. And yeah, thank you to everyone for watching Iblis Manifestations.